What's going on, guys? PepperBelly here, bringing you some Special Forces Team X gameplay. Got 3 back-to-back matches for you over the course of this video, and during so I'll be talking about my initial impressions and my somewhat first impressions and just my impressions in general, because I put over an hour into this game so far, but haven't invested enough time to be like, alright, detailed breakdown of the game. But I'll definitely tell you whether or not I actually think it's good or it's bad, and give you, like I said, my initial impressions. That's what impressions means. So yeah, so in case you guys haven't actually noticed or known, I don't know why you would notice, it's developed by the same guys that made Blacklight Tango Down and Blacklight Retribution, Zombie Studios. This time they went with a different publisher, and as a result, they actually ended up trying to do something completely different. They figured, you know what, we're going to make a third-person cover-based shooter for the Xbox 360, the PS3, and PC. Now, some people are obviously worried about PC version because, well, hello, it's people are going to be like console portitis, consoleization, problems like that. And I can honestly say that there is some aspects of like consoleization in this game. Nothing dramatically game-breaking. The game still feels pretty damn smooth on the PC, considering they developed Blacklight Retribution, which was only on the PC. So they took a lot from what they learned from Tango Down and Blacklight Retribution and made a third-person cover-based shooter that actually works pretty nicely. And so I'm going to start breaking it down. And initially, they were actually planning on making it a free-to-play game as well. So back when they were starting it, they're like, you know what, we're going to probably make it free-to-play. Their new publisher and all that, they were like, you know what, let's just make it a regular game like Tango Down. A simple, easily purchased, viably cheap game. So you can just go in there and be like, alright, I want to just quick frag people and do whatever I want to do. The game offers that very well. It's a casual shooter, so it's nothing like super hardcore, like you're going to be going into esports and crazy-ass tournaments and shit like that, like Counter-Strike style. It's literally just going to be pretty much a very casual shooter that takes some skill, a lot of teamwork, and a lot of coordination to actually be able to effectively kill and win every single match. So it's actually very affordable, it's very well constructed, it's a generally good game. There's a lot of customization, there's a lot of pleasing elements of the game as well, which I'm going to start getting into right now. So one of the more interesting things about this game is probably the map voting system. So most games traditionally you have to vote between 3 maps, and they're completely different, and they don't look anything alike. And in this game, it's actually completely different. So instead of choosing 3 different maps, you're choosing 3 different set pieces. So you actually choose one set piece that would be on the far left, or one in the middle, and one on the right. So as you can see right here, the warehouse is in the middle. You got like this refinery thing off to the left, some other thing on the right. I don't really know the names of them specifically, but basically you actually have to switch. So you scroll through them all and choose which one actually appeals to you the most, and whichever locations you want. And however many people actually vote for that specific set piece, it'll lock it, and then that'll be the one on the left or middle or right, whichever one it is. And it actually makes the maps completely different every single time you play the game, so you're not going to be playing on the same maps. They're definitely the same set pieces, so you'll see recycled areas all the time, but the way that they're actually mixed and matched is always different, so you can never actually fully sit there and be like, I'm going to master this map's location, and I can chuck a grenade from this area and angle and whatever and get it in through here, and you're not going to really have that much of that unless you master certain set pieces, which is pretty much all you can do is the set pieces alone. The actual entirety of the map will always be different depending on who you're playing with, unless you get a small party of people and you agree that you're going to have the same set pieces every single time. Other than that, you're pretty much going to have a completely different map, which is kind of nice. So getting into the customization of this game, there is a lot of it. It's not going to be as nearly in-depth and as insane as Blacklight Retribution. It feels a lot more like Tango Down, which in my opinion is really nice. It's simple, it's simplistic, it's nothing like mind-blowingly complicated. Essentially, you just go and choose 2 different loadouts, and these loadouts offer you a variety of different things, such as cosmetic items that you actually wear on your character. You can alter those. You unlock them as you progress through your levels, so as you level up, you get more and more items that you can actually equip. You can get like different headpieces. As you can see, I have a backwards baseball cap with shades on, makes me look totally badass. Then you got like different tactical chest pieces, torso, and then legs, and then you can't choose boots or anything like that because the leggings are part of the boots. I know some people are probably like, but I like the skimpy hooker boots that I wear on the side of the street all the time. Well, I do too, but you know, you don't see me wearing them in video games because I wear them enough in real life. But the thing is, it's actually very well done. You can actually choose kind of, they're called like abilities or your power up or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically it allows you to choose very specific abilities. Like you can add toughness, so whenever you're getting shot at or you're about to die, you can be like, oh shit, apply toughness for a short duration of time, which gives you a little bit of bullet resilience, so you can actually like take more rounds without dying so much. Bullet resistance, you know what I mean? Damage resistance in general. And then there's some that's like focus, where it increases your accuracy for a short duration of time. It also affects teammates in the nearby area. And then of course you also have like other things that are more insane, like you can get attack dogs that you can call out and they'll chase people around the maps and bite them in the face and stuff like that, which is really, really cool and very interesting. And it's nothing like, as you can see, the dog just ran by right there. It's actually right behind me, kind of just staring at me for no apparent reason, but yeah, dogs are pretty sweet. They're not like overly powered. I mean, most of the times you can see it right there. They're just standing around looking completely stupid. So it would be nice to see them a little bit better, like made, and with the AI for the dogs not being as stupid as they are. Like, I hate to give Call of Duty credit, but at least in Call of Duty, the dogs were a little bit more realistic because they would run around the map until they found someone. Whereas here, they kind of just stop for a little while and hide in the corner, and then eventually start running again, which is a little bit ridiculous. But there's a lot of customization, so if you're into that kind of thing, you're going to love it. And you can actually choose your camo as well. As you can see, I'm using digital blue camo. There's not that many camo selections, I have to admit. It's nothing like amazing. You're not going to be going in there like Blacklight Retribution, have like 1,000 different camos you can choose. A lot of them generally look the same, which is kind of disappointing. I mean, the only ones I actually noticed that look kind of cool is like the digital and like the one that he has, where you actually see multicolored areas of your actual uniform, whereas it generally is just a solid color that just doesn't look too appealing because it's cel shaded, right? It kind of looks like Borderlands 2 in some sense, where it's kind of like a comic book style thing going on here, and it looks nice, but obviously it would have been nice if they can actually add a bigger variety of camos that can make people look a lot different. Even so, add camos to specific areas, like be able to camouflage very specific parts of your uniform. That would be a little bit overdone. It's not necessary, but it's just something that like some people that are obsessed with cosmetic items and customization may come to appreciate. So let's get into the more important, meatier part of the game, the actual mechanics, shall we? Now, the game mechanics are not the best in the world, and I have to admit that pretty extensively because I was hoping for a little bit better, smoother gameplay. Some people are going to be like, oh, the game's fine, I don't know what you're talking about. But I mean, when you play games like Warframe, Gears of War, Uncharted, any third-person cover-based shooter that feels like ultra smooth and very, very good, and then you go into a game that's like a little bit stiffer and not quite as responsive as you'd like, it kind of diminishes the gameplay. It makes the game feel not as good as it could be. Now, of course, the game is fun, but it's nowhere near being like the greatest third-person shooter out there you'll find ever. One thing I really wish they did have in this game, which this game would benefit huge from, is the ability to toggle your shoulder. So whichever shoulder you're firing over, being able to switch sides depending on cover. Now, of course, they may have not incorporated that because they wanted you to use the actual cover system, and instead of actually having to be able to switch shoulders and just kind of like not have to take cover and lean out from a corner and shoot at targets, that is probably one way they actually, use that to force you to use cover so you can shoot from the left without exposing much of your body. Regardless, there still is issues with actual detection of where you are. So sometimes you'll be like popping out of cover, your crosshairs clearly like, it looks like your character's out of cover and you're firing at them, but then suddenly your bullets are hitting the cover right in front of you. That happens a little bit too often. It can get frustrating to some players. They got frustrating to me, and it was really, really, really annoying that would actually happen. There's some issues where your bullets don't even hit the target, period. I mean, I remember one very specific moment, like fused into my brain, where I was actually firing at a guy who was up against a wall with a light machine gun from like 10 feet, and I put in like 30 rounds into him, not a single hit marker, and he turned around and shot me once. And I was just like, okay, well, not once, maybe like 2 or 3 times, however many times it takes to kill me. But I was sitting there just like completely baffled. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck? I just sat there pumping like 50 rounds into your chest while you were completely unaware of where I was, not a single hit marker, and then he turns around and obliterates me. And I was really disappointed, really frustrated. It sucked, but hey, it happens, and hopefully over time these kind of things can be resolved. Now, of course, the game isn't actually played that much by a lot of people as well. I mean, you go on, and I found like 2 servers when I first signed into this game. I was kind of disappointed. And now there's like 4 servers I see that are going with 16 people in all of them. There is not a lot of people playing this game. Of course, it was released today, and there was not a lot of advertising behind it like there was for Blacklight Retribution, for example, but it's still kind of a shame to see a game like this that has potential to be completely drowned out by everything. Like, it's just 4 servers full. It may start to pick up. I could see it picking up for a bit, but I mean, obviously, it would be nice if this game had a little bit more life to it, so you're almost guaranteed every single game. I mean, the game types they have in this are actually like pretty interesting and fun, so like it'd be nice to actually see it used. Now, the cover system is pretty good, but I would have liked to have actually seen a cover system where you can kind of Ghost Recon Future Soldier style or Ghost Recon Online style, where you can actually slide from cover to cover instead of just being able to pop out of cover quickly. Now, that's one thing you're able to do, is you can actually do that. You can pop out of cover really quickly and be able to go around and sprint as fast as you can. You have unlimited sprint, and then you can pretty much just slide into cover and you're good to go. It would have been nice to actually have a more fluid cover system and definitely be able to slide around while crouching, or just kind of make it not as stiff as how it feels. It feels very, very stiff. That's one way I can put it. It feels like a game that's not really fluid and smooth, what you would expect on a PC third-person shooter. It kind of feels more like Gears of War, but even Gears of War feels smoother than this. But it still has a lot of improving to do, and hopefully they can maybe make some adjustments in the future. I don't really know what their plans are, but so far it's still decent, it still works, and it's still a lot of fun. Now you can see I picked up another weapon. This brings me to my next topic, which is basically how you actually can't even replenish your ammo. And the reason why they actually got rid of that was because back in Blacklight Tango Down, they had depots kind of just around that you can actually go up to. And what ended up happening is they claim that people would end up just camping on the health depots or the ammo depots and just sit there farming essentially endless amounts of ammo and everything, while being able to just kill everybody around them, and they have an endless stockpile of equipment. They got rid of that, so the only way to actually acquire new ammo is either to pick up another weapon like I did, or to die, which is unfortunate, because, I mean, for those of you looking to get an amazing kill streak, good luck, because you're going to have a more difficult time with that, since you can run out of ammo pretty damn easily. As you can see, I'm also running around with the grenade launcher. You saw me pick it up a little while ago. Those are actually weapons around the map that are rare and far between, but they tend to spawn on a pretty somewhat consistent rate, and they're always different. So the only one I was actually able to see so far was an RPG and a grenade launcher. I'm not sure if the chainsaw counts as one of them. I saw one guy running around with that, like cutting everyone up with a chainsaw. It's hilarious looking. I don't know if it's actually a power weapon that drops, but I know that they actually have those around the map, and they could be a complete game changer if you use them to your advantage, which is really, really nice and a great addition to the game. Of course, obviously they're not going to make it like ridiculous where there's like all kinds of different weapons to pick up. It's essentially like a supply drop that lands somewhere, and you have to just go to it as quickly as you can, try to get it before the enemy team does. And once you do, go around the map, slaughtering as many guys as you can, and try to get a nice high kill count. Now, they do have a melee system in the game. It's nothing like mind-blowing in terms of melee systems. It's pretty standardized. But one thing that they did do that's actually kind of interesting is actual execution. So you can actually go up behind people and execute them by just pressing the button once. So you don't have to go up behind it and do anything specific. It's very easy to do it once you get behind somebody. And depending on the weapons and equipment you have, it actually alters the way that the execution is done, which is kind of neat. Kind of makes it have a variety of different ways you can kill people. You can go up behind them, snap their neck, or you can like shoot them in the back of the head with your sidearm, or you can like shotgun blast them in the back, and all kinds of ridiculously awesome execution animations, which are pretty pleasing and pretty nice to see. So overall, the game has a decent customization screen where you can alter the way your character looks cosmetically, has a decent selection of weapons, has a decent selection of abilities, and has a nice, interesting map selection process. Overall, the game is pretty fun, and it's a very good game to just jump in for a quick casual frag of enemy players in a third-person environment. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care, guys.